Hi there, I'm Chris Berman. We got a lot of games to cover, so let's get to it. In our first game this week, we had the Dolphins come away with a decisive 10-point win. We had an interesting free agency pickup of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris. Let's switch gears and talk about players that'll have new homes in the National Football League, as free agency continues to play such a huge role in determining a team's makeup. Blake will be on the move. You see it there. He'll be getting a nice little payday, too. 4 years, $4.4 million. Austin got snatched up as well, and he signs a 2-year contract with the Bills.
Salazar had a stellar game, but all said and done, his performance wasn't enough to lift his team to a victory. We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Boomer, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC Infirmary Report. And as you can see, they were hit hard this week. Hines Ward won't see action for a while, so this offense is going to have to make do without him. A stress fracture in his lower leg is causing problems, and the doctors are saying he'll be out for 6 weeks. In front of you, we've got the NFC list, and as you can see, they could form their own MASH unit. Abbott sticks out on this list as one of the more costly injuries. It's reported that he's fractured his leg and that he'll be out for the rest of the regular season. There's a chance, however, they'll get him back for the playoffs. Now, on to even bigger news, as you may have already heard. Monsanto Pope is done for the year, as he'll watch the rest of the season from the sidelines, and they'll be scrambling now to find someone that can fill his shoes. Now we'll move on to our top story of the day. Lavernius Coles will be on the sidelines for a while, and that is not good news for his club. So that'll do it for now. Chris, let's send it back to you.
Corel General Buckhalter had over 50 yards receiving and helped his Broncos beat the Colts. Right on the Mississippi River in St. Louis, we had the Rams lose by a 12-point margin. 49ers, Falcons. The A-Train, Anthony Thomas, is taking a look at the defense behind the quarterback at his own 14-yard line. Whoop! There he goes with a beautiful spin. Celebrate a touchdown. The 49ers win this one by the final score of 23-16. Down in Qualcomm Stadium, we had the Chargers look terrible and lose by 27. The Jets defense came away with 3 turnovers in their victory at M&T Stadium. The Bengals won big at home and will stay home for next week's game when they meet the Dolphins. Jake Delhomme threw for over 200 yards and helped his Panthers beat the Lions. Shaw stepped it up this week and gave his team some added firepower for the win. Chiefs, Raiders. Carlos Francis is set to receive the kick, and it's kind of a number, almost like a wide receiver makes that catch. Now has to reverse field, but he's got a wall in front of him, picks up a big block at the 40. He's got one man to beat. He could go all the way, 78 yards. What a play. The Raiders go on to win this by the final score of 27-20. Up in historical New England, we had the Patriots come away with a brutal 18-point victory. Up in Seattle Stadium, we had the Seahawks squeak to a 1-point victory. And last but not least, we had the Steelers come away victorious. So let's change things up a bit and turn to a guy that's had his eye on the college game, and that's our own Mel Kiper Jr. He joins us now. Mel, your work never ends, I know. Believe me, I know better than anybody else. But it's never too early to start thinking about next year's draft, is it?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And now that most teams have 7, 8, 9 games under their belts, we're starting to get a pretty good sense for which guys are going to be blue chippers come draft day. Wagner is a guy, for starters, that I think truly has very few negatives in his game right now. 6 feet, 194, out of Clemson. And this is a guy that's shown absolutely blazing speed in his ball games this fall. His closing speed combined with his quick feet and hands have scouts salivating over his potential. Gibson is another guy that's starting to make some noise with a terrific senior season. He was a virtual unknown coming into this year, but people are starting to project him to have a solid NFL career. I'm starting to jump on the bandwagon as well. So that'll do it for now, but expect there to be plenty happening between now and April.
So that'll just about do it. But before we go, I'm going to toss out a few game balls to my prime-time players. Each and every one of these men had a week to remember. But
That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.